Attorney General and Minister with responsible for legal affairs, the Honorable Vincent Byron, Minister of Agriculture, et al., the Honorable Eugene Hamilton, Minister with responsibility for public infrastructure, et al., the Honorable Ian Patches-Libard, Minister with responsibility for tourism, the Honorable Lindsey Grant and Mrs. Grant, Senator Akila Byron Nisbet and Mr. Nisbet, our guest speaker, the Honorable Herod Stanislas from St. Lucia, and I pause to say a very special thank you for the wonderful speech that you just delivered to us on this, the occasion of our 53rd annual convention. Kindly take back our own good wishes to your party and to your Prime Minister, the Honorable Alan Chastany. Additionally, as the Minister of Sport for St. Kitts and Nevis, take back our congratulations also to the young lady from St. Lucia who recently won the high jump in the recently concluded Commonwealth Games held in Australia. Our party chairman and Ambassador John L. Powell, other ambassadors Sidney Osborne and Constance Mitchum, other members of the executive, advisors Vernon Connor and Dr. Charles Warner, members of the diplomatic and consular corps, including Ambassador Cho, Mr. and Mrs. Michael Morton, Chamber President, Mr. Farron Lawrence, former ministers of government, specially invited guests, Chair of the National Women's Group, Ms. Laverne Keynes, and other members of the National Women's Group, young Pamites, and at this point in time, allow me also to recognize a gentleman. It doesn't appear as though he's with us, but that is Jean Howell, who is celebrating birthday today. I asked Jackie to take back our birthday wishes to your dad, Jean. Tudor just indicated to me also that he celebrated yesterday, so to Tudor, belated happy birthday. To the convention organizing team, I also acknowledge your presence and say a very special thank you to you. Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, good evening. Constituency number 1, you with us? Number 2, number 3, number 4, and to the special people from none other than the historic town of Sandy Point. Thank you. Number 6, number 7, number 8, PAM people, PAM people, PAM people. As Cindy would say, you ready? You ready? You sound that way. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to begin my remarks today with expression of thanks and gratitude. This is the third time that the delegates, and by extension, the members have reposed their confidence in me by electing me as the national political leader of the People's Action Movement. This is indeed an honor that again humbles me because I am one of only 4 persons who over the past 53 years have been bestowed with such distinguished title and high political office. Political leader of the People's Action Movement is a badge that I wear proudly, and the more I do so, the more I understand the high and demanding expectations of my leadership, and I would not have it any other way. Therefore, to all delegates and members who this afternoon ratified my election, please accept my profound thanks and indeed my gratefulness. And in so doing, allow me to equally congratulate my executive colleagues who were also elected and ratified today by the convention delegates. With this recent election, once again, PAM has made history. The new national executive is dominated by 2/3 majority of women. Of the 9 members who now comprise the executive, only 3 are men and 6 are women. There is no doubt, therefore, that with an executive dominated by women, there is greater hope and opportunity that this party will grow stronger and more dynamic during this term. And may I further point out, just in case it has escaped our attention, this is also the first time that PAM has elected a woman to serve as deputy political leader in the person of Miss Cindy Deming. Cindy, a few years ago, also made history when she became the first woman in St. Kitts and Nevis, and certainly one of a very few in the Caribbean to be elected then as chairman of a major political party. Only in PAM can we have such continued history-making developments in the advancement of women. I want all of the women who were elected to serve to kindly stand. Where is Natasha? Don't leave. First thing, I want you to give them a special round of applause. And it's not just about the fact that they have been elected to serve on the executive. You look at Jonelle. Back in 2004, when I ran for the very first time as a candidate, Jonelle was there as a candidate for the People's Action Movement in constituency number 6, running against the former Prime Minister. Jackie came on board last year, and I must say that since coming on board, she has been very diligent in her service to PAM. But even before coming on board on the executive, she has come to the ranks of the young PAMites and continued to give service to the People's Action Movement. Cheryl has been a campaigner in East Bastille. She has been here with us Tuesday after Tuesday, representing East Bastille at the executive. And of course, you have Natasha Shani Gray, a tower of strength, a strong woman. Shani has always been involved in East Bastille campaign's efforts. Last time around, she ran for chairperson of the party. She wasn't successful. She went up for deputy chairperson. She won the position. And so, because of the fact that she didn't win the chairperson position, Shani didn't decide to step back. But instead, she continued to give service to the party. And that is why I want you to congratulate these women. Shirley, Boone, Julius has refused to stand. So Shirley, please stand now. If you want anything organized in PAM, and especially if you're looking for money to fund it, call Shirley. Call Shirley and you don't have to look back. You can be assured that it will be organized, and well funded, because Shirley is going to take care of it. Thank you to all of you. This is an achievement that no doubt would make Ambassador Constance Mitchum very proud, given that she, as the first female to be elected to the parliament of this country. Ms. Mitchum, stand please. Thank you. Was a champion of gender balance and fairness during her time in the National Assembly and Cabinet. In addition, words of congratulations are also deserving for our new chairman and former deputy political leader, Ambassador Jonelle Powell. Jonelle's uncle and the founder of PAM, former Ambassador William Valentine Herbert, must be smiling today to see that his young nephew is continuing the struggle that began in 1965. I also add that in 2 years' time, Jonelle will join us as a member of parliament. And he has already started crafting promising changes that will transform the People's Action Movement into higher levels of greatness and success. Congrats, Jonelle, as you begin this new journey as chairman of our great party. Ladies and gentlemen, members and friends, the team that you have, which is comprised of myself, Cindy, Honorable Eugene Hamilton, Natasha Gray, Jonelle Rollins, Cheryl Reed, Jacqueline Howell, and Shirley Julius, provides much confidence that PAM continues to be on the right track for victory. At the same time, it is also very important for me to say thank you to those members who served on the past executive, especially the outgoing chairman, Mr. Valentine Lindsay. Today, we are gathered here at PAM headquarters for Convention 53. And we do so with the understanding that together we succeed. And I want us to repeat that. Together we succeed. Together we succeed. And we also meet in the shadows and under the watchful eyes of our founding fathers. And we have 3 of those persons with us this afternoon. Unfortunately, our first national hero and first Prime Minister, the Right Excellent and Right Honorable Dr. Sir Kennedy Alphonse Simmons, is unable to be with us. However, as I sat there this afternoon, he sent a message to say that PAM is looking good and PAM is looking strong. So indeed, he is listening from wherever he is. But we have with us none other than Richard Keynes. Richard, please stand. Ambassador Powell, that is Michael Powell. And of course, we have Lady Mitchum amongst us. And as we embark on this new journey and new term, the desire for success and togetherness becomes even more glaring. And in so doing, I am reminded of the brilliance of Sir Kennedy, our party's second national political leader, the man who was our last premier and the giant who became our our father of independence in 1983, our first prime minister. There is no other pillar of our society who has demonstrated that once we as a party and country can come together, there is no boundary that may halt our march to progress and prosperity. It was under his stewardship that this country embraced the realism that working together is better and far more pragmatic than falling apart. It was he who did the impossible of bridging the gap that for decades prevented political parties across the Narrows from working together in the national interest. So, with the inspiration I get from Sir Kennedy's achievements, I am bolstered and confident that PAM, under the guidance of this new team of executive, can and will deliver the changes and initiatives to satisfy the growing demands of our membership and the citizens of this nation. I know it has not always been easy. I know that we have still some ground to make up. I am aware that building a stronger party requires strong leadership and vision. I believe that we have the ability to do so, and we will. It is evident and it is very clear that a strong PAM leads to a stronger team unity coalition government. 2 years ago, I made that bold statement. And over the past couple of weeks, and since the hosting of our caucus on Sunday, 8th April, you would have noticed a difference, as we have immediately embarked upon an aggressive public relations campaign. The voice of PAM in the media and in our communities is critical and must be sustained. The voice of PAM on matters of public national importance must and will be projected so that the members we serve across the 8 constituencies in St. Kitts can be at ease that their opinions matter and that their concerns are being heard and addressed. We heard the member for number 4 speaking to concerns in his own constituency. He forgot to mention though, Lindsay, you didn't have the land or proper land space in Challengers for your netball court. And since then, I use the money to deliver a brand new basketball court in Challengers. In halfway tree, my apologies. Thank you for the correction. But I say, and I repeat, that the concerns of you, the people, must continue to be heard and to resonate with us as leaders of the People's Action Movement. Our voice must be strong because there are many evildoers and enemies of progress who are constantly seeking to divide us. It seems to be their ploy to continue a hopeless endeavor to divide and conquer. Their efforts are designed to derail the progress we have made and to sow seeds of discord within our ranks. But try as they may, our party is much too strong and united to allow political vultures to sabotage and create disharmony. We have fought for far too long and far too hard for us to stop now. We have already survived 5 decades of laborious efforts to destroy our will and silence our cause. Members and friends, brothers and sisters, if they were not successful when they held the reins of power, how can they succeed now that they have been banished into a longevity of political insignificance? My message to my fellow party members is that together we can succeed. And my promise is that we shall succeed. There is growing anxiety about the coming general elections. And indeed, PAM is entering a new phase of readiness as we look ahead to defend our record and position as the leading party in Parliament and in this country, with the largest number of seats in the National Assembly. Let it be clear, our mission is to increase our seat count from 4 to 6 by achieving success in constituencies number 2 for John L. Powell and number 6 for Vernon Connor. Constituency number 2 is a seat that was stolen from us, and the other side claimed victory for a member of Parliament who cares more about herself rather than the people that she was elected to serve. PAM needs to bring home that seat, adding to those held by myself, Ian Patches Libard, Eugene Hamilton, and Lindsey Grant. And PAM needs to permanently retire the old guard in St. Paul's. But that day may be coming sooner rather than later. That day is early upon us because the people of number 6 deserve someone who is loyal, someone who has a full allegiance to only St. Kitts and Nevis, someone who doesn't have allegiance to Dominica. In other words, we want a citizen of our own in constituency number 6. Therefore, the rallying call to our troops of patriotic members and citizens is simple. Together, we must succeed. We cannot turn back the hands of time, and the wheels of progress must continue to turn away from the dark period of mismanaged governance that was so evident between 1995 and 2015. And to safeguard our country from such repeated infamy is essential for PAM to rebuild and strengthen the organs of this dynamic political party. These infrastructural changes will continue within the arms of the youth, women, and at the constituency level. Our call to duty is almost imminent, and our pledge to maintain a posture of country above self must begin with a demonstration of loyalty to party and to the Federation. Once we as a party remain united and determined in our cause to contribute national development, there will be no room for a return of the misrulers and purveyors of self-greed. The hustle and bustle of political life is not an easy one. And it is even more daunting when in opposition. I know, because I have experienced both sides of the political reality. And I have absolutely no intentions of going back to opposition. Absolutely no intention. Looking ahead, I am confident, very confident, that with a strong PAM and a political agenda that is increasingly more engaged, the detractors are destined to fail. It is so sad when you look at them today. They seem to have become a lost and confused generation of old-style political leaders. I understand they can't even find a candidate in constituency number 4. So you look like Lindsey running unopposed. And maybe that is why, when he was up here speaking, he said he really doesn't have much to say about constituency number 4 because he has no opponent in constituency number 4. They have become a party that is so stuck in the past that they have not yet realized that the world has moved on. leaving them behind in the wilderness. I think it is Patches who quite often says that the plane has taken off and they are still waiting in the departure lounge to board the flight. But I go even a little further, because when you look at myself, young, you agree? Young and dynamic. Prime Minister, stand. Stand. When you look at the Prime Minister, a young and dynamic man, leader of the PLP. Mark isn't here with us, but when you look at Mark Brantley Nevis, leader of the CCM, a young, dynamic man. When you look at the other side, what do you see? What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? Well, I'm going to tell you something. At the last election in Nevis, we retired an old one of NRP. And the next election in St. Kitts, we're going to retire the old one of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party. Young leadership is what the people of this country want and what the people of this country have been voting for. And they need to recognize that. I pledge to you, my brothers and sisters, that I shall do all that I can do to help them remain in that existence of hopelessness. Every season has its moments of triumphs and despair. And in politics, there is no difference. Therefore, in this political springtime that is fast approaching, I feel excited about the prospects for PAM. In fact, it feels good to be a PAM today. As the new chairman likes to say, I is a PAM. You're a PAM? Well, let me hear you say, I is a PAM. I is a PAM. I is a PAM. I told them today I have a little difficulty with it, because of the Minister of Education. I have some issues with English in the school, but we young, and the young people say, they don't say is, they say isa. So I is a PAM. How this? You is a PAM? Cutie? Cutie, you ain't young. The proud I could understand, but not the young. PAM, oh, she said PAM and proud. She said all PAM and proud. And nothing wrong with that, because Cutie has been here for the 53 years that PAM has been here. Brothers and sisters, we are all PAM. And those who may not be members, we welcome them as our brothers and sisters and as our friends. You are our family. And so that is why we have the Prime Minister here with us, a member of the PLP family. That is why we have Martilla here with us, a member of the PLP family. Martilla, stand. That is why we have Mr. Earl with us, a member of the PLP family. And that is why we have Senator Byron and her husband with us, a member of the PLP family. And all the other members of PLP, please stand and be recognized. Give them a round of applause. I want to assure our members that your leader stands with you. Your national executive is walking the walk and talking the talk with you. We are working together to succeed. Your cause is our cause. Our political colors include gold, or the substitute we use, yellow. Our main symbol is the hat, and our fraternal greeting gesture is the V, or the victory sign, which is also the sign of peace. These are important to us, and we must continue to feel proud about using and wearing them. But of all of the symbols that represent who we are as a party, it is our 53-year-old motto, putting people first, that makes us most proud. This is a motto that was coined by our party's founding fathers in the 1960s, and it remains a motto that is very relevant in the 21st century. PAM has been a party of progress, an organization of bold thinking and vision. That vision has been focused on taking care of the people, not just our members, but all of the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Our past record of social change is impressive, and it chronicles the development experience between 1980 and 1995. During this period, not only did the PAM give birth to our independent nation, we now call the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, it also transformed our national profile, becoming the leader in economic development regionally. Today, PAM is back in government, and with a united approach working together with our partners in CCM and PLP, we have continued to usher programs of economic and social deliverance. This model of working for and on behalf of the people is consistent with PAM's core philosophy of a private sector-led economy with strong public sector facilitation. And so, to the President of the Chamber, Farron Lawrence, I give you the assurance of Team Unity and PAM that we will continue to work with the private sector. But more importantly, all of the gains we have made as a central partner in the coalition government have been guided by and is in sync with our own party's mantra of putting people first. The sad thing about politics is that even when you are doing good, there are those who work overtime to convince their dwindling supporters that good is bad for them. That good is bad for them. We announced that more international brand hotels and resorts are coming. They said this is bad for the people because we will have too many hotels. We announced 6 cents at La Valley. They had a demonstration on Church Street to say do not bring 6 cents to La Valley. Y'all ever hear such nonsense? A hotel coming, leader, taxi driver. I'm sure you're looking for more guests to transport. Of course, a lady say more money in her pocket, I can't see her. You work in the tourist sector? Yes. Her son is a manager over Marriott. Give her a round of applause. Because we want more young people like her son to be managers in the tourist sector. And that is why we're bringing more hotels into the Federation. But they say that is bad for the country. It is obvious that the other side does not want progress for our people. They do not want progress for our country. They only want progress for themselves. We signed the agreement for a second cruise pier using our own local investors, and this too, they argued, was a bad decision. As a matter of fact, they even went so far as to send a letter to one of the partners saying, do not assist us with that second cruise ship pier. They are bad for the country. They only want progress for themselves. They don't care that more jobs would come for the local people with shops and taxi services. All they are concerned about is that it is not them who can develop this great tourism facility. Lindsay, stand and take a clap, man. Their contempt for the poor is never ending. And it is not only in tourism. because their disregard for thousands who cannot afford overseas health care is astonishing. We established the oncology unit at the JNF hospital to help save lives and to help our cancer patients, and they criticized it. They also criticized the announcement for universal health care and the construction of the Tabernacle Health Complex. Not even the assistance given to introduce MRI services in St. Kitts and Nevis escaped their bitter wrath, because this too, they said, is bad for the people. And while they're saying it's bad for the people, they're still sending persons over there to use the very same MRI facilities. Gene, stand, man. Stand. Patch is watching me because I guess he wondered anything and I asked him to stand. To Patches, I ain't reached to you yet. Be patient. Bastille High School, a project to go in East Bastille. And you know what they said? They said we ain't building it. They said we can't build it. But they went so fast to say that they're going to prevent us from building it. Well, I don't know if they own the land. I don't know if they are the contractors. I don't know if they think they're still in government. But Bastille High School will be built in East Bastille for the young children of the Bastille community. While they criticize, we remain focused with our program of development as a partner in government, including resurfacing of the island main road. I don't know how many of you recall, that once ago when road repairs were being done in this country, only a black man from Barbados could have undertaken road repairs in this country. Public Works could have submitted a bill for $100,000, and the black man submitted one for $200,000. The black man got the job. I don't know how many of you recall that. But it was only a few weeks ago that I went to the airport roundabout and saw young people in this country signing contracts to the road works in this country. I refer to people from Halfway Tree like Ali and his young son who were there to sign. I refer to persons like the Lachlan's from Kayan who were there to sign. I refer to persons such as Booney and his son who were there to sign. And there's a next gentleman whose name is escaping me. Help me, Minister. Mr. Huggins, and you could stand now and take a round of applause. The new bus terminals and new facility to welcome intra-island travelers by boat. You go down by the ferry terminal, you feel like you're in St. Thomas or St. Croix or Tortola. Modern facility down there while you're waiting on the boat. Once ago you go down there, all kind of drunken people in between you. People with mental issues in between you. All sort of people down there. I ain't on site. If you're going Nevis and you want your other half, now you're going, everybody down there see you not now. You could jump on the boat on Nevis and nobody will see you. The old policy of use and abuse, when it comes to a working class people, it must stop. From their actions, it is obvious that they are focused on one thing, and that is power at all costs rather than service to the people. While they dwell in the past and cry foul about every movement of progress and prosperity, PAM and its partners in unity continue to work in the best interests of every Kittitian and Nevision. And I want to pause here, because sometimes I didn't tell Jackie, I didn't even know Jackie was going to introduce me this afternoon. But it is interesting that she said, a man who can be considered to be silent but powerful. Because sometimes I get the impression that some of our supporters want me to cause confusion and to break up team unity. I do not need to cause any confusion to achieve anything on behalf of the People's Action Movement. The Prime Minister is here, and the Prime Minister can say to you that when I have any issues, I call his office and I said to him, I need a meeting with you. And he accords me the respect of the meeting, and we discuss issues, and we come to a mutual conclusion. My cabinet colleagues are here, and if there are matters that I need to raise in cabinet, I politely raise those matters. And if I take issuance with anything, I state for the record, I take issuance, but I just don't state for the record. I put on the record why I take issuance with any particular matter. I am not going into cabinet to break up team unity. You, the people, ask for team unity. Team unity is here to serve you, the people, and Shawn Richards will give support to team unity because team unity is about you, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. So my second message to all members and supporters of PAM and to the members of CCM and PLP is that we cannot allow a disloyal band of political tricksters to prevent us from fully embracing the notion that together we succeed. Like a fielder waiting in the slips at a cricket match, I am told that the Dominican politician is patiently waiting and hoping that we will not continue to move forward in unity. Well, I have a message for him too. Tell him that he can continue to wait with a bated breath because team unity with PAM is here to serve the people. Tell him to continue to wait with false hope because PAM is building stronger foundations to lift the prospects of another great victory for our united front. Someone once said that alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. That is what national heroes Sir Kennedy Simmons and Sir Simeon Daniel realized when in 1980 they shocked the political world by forming an alliance that we all benefit from today. Working together is not only important at the party level, it is even more critical at the national stage. In this 35 years of independence, we must all yield to the call for putting the good of our country above all else. I happen to be the chair for the independence celebrations this year. And it is noteworthy that when we met the very first time and we said that we need to have a theme competition, what do we want the theme to surround? The majority of persons in the room said that the theme must be one that reflects patriotism. It must be one that reflects putting country above self. And so the theme competition is now open. P.S. Hodge is here. If you need more information to submit an entry for that competition, speak to P.S. Hodge. But even at that level, persons are saying that we must focus on putting country above self, the motto of this great federation. I am reminded of the words of John Pierre Paul, who is noted for making the point that nobody can defeat you when you are working together. Our country today needs every citizen to invest their best efforts in eradicating poverty, reducing crime and violence, improving our healthcare services, and educating and molding our children into productive adults. The challenges we face with a world that is getting smaller but more complicated will require new thinking and renewed national commitment. It is accepted that nation building means different things to varied groups of people. However, central to any concept of nation building is democracy and opportunity for all. These are principles that demand sharp focus, if we are to advance this fledgling country that despite its accomplishments still has a long road to travel. But we have come a long way. Last night I was speaking to the guest speaker, and he was indicating to me some of the projects currently being pursued in St. Lucia and in St. Kitts. These are projects that we have already pursued. He was speaking about a national football stadium. We have a national football stadium already here in St. Kitts and Nevis. He was speaking about the land registry, and I said to him that is a project currently ongoing in St. Kitts and Nevis. Number of projects he spoke to that we already have here. And so we have to be proud of our country. No offense to the Honorable Minister from St. Lucia, but we continue to lead the region in economic development, and we must be proud of that. We must be proud of it. And PAM is a part of those achievements. And so that is why we continue to say, I is a PAM. And as Cutie say, PAM and proud. And for those of you who want to add all, you could add all to it. Former governor of the U.S. state of New Mexico said it best when he opined, "We cannot accomplish all that we need to do without working together." This is a bedrock belief of our party. It has been so since its formation. It remains today a driving force behind all that we do in the interest of building this country. One study about nation building posits the view that there are 5 fundamental principles to follow to build strong, self-sufficient nations. These 5 principles to be incorporated must include, according to the study, the following. 1, partnerships. Nation building requires willing partners, with all contributing to the shared vision and strategies agreed to for progress. This is why PAM has had such a long tradition of working with others. 2, process. Building a nation takes time. It is not an overnight success. It is not a revolution. It is a carefully studied and applied evolution of methods and programs. I repeat, while we have done much, there is more being done as we pursue other initiatives in the remaining years of our first term. 3, problem solving. Leaders must start small, addressing basic problems, and not be hurried in their approach. Sometimes when we're doing things, you want to know why you ain't done yet. Electoral reform, why you ain't done yet. The cruise ship pier, why you ain't done build yet. 100 people want houses, why we ain't done build 100 houses yet. And that is what we get from persons. But the fulfillment of basic needs and the building of trust in leadership are also important. We will not follow the drum beat of the opposition, but rather, we shall, as a party in government, take a studied approach to reversing the mess that we inherited 3 years ago. 2015, when we came here, you're in all kind of stories about the CIU program, the Citizenship by Investment program. When last you heard any international scandal about the Citizenship by Investment program? Again, it was about a process that we thought through, and a process at the end of the day, you are able to see the results. You are able to see the results from that program. 4, purpose. Small beginnings must have larger purposes. The citizens must see value in what their leaders are doing. The big projects we have so far introduced and announced are all geared towards filling dreams of a brighter future for our people, giving them jobs, business opportunities, and better social benefits. And finally, 5, people. Nation building is about people. Nation building is about people. It is about you. Large forces do not move history. People move history. Large forces do not move history. People move history. As a party that puts people first, PAM understands this very well. We know that our greatest asset is none other, and I want all of the members and supporters of the People's Action Movement to stand. And give yourselves a round of applause. Because you are our greatest and most valued asset. Thank you. So the Prime Minister in the yellow today, but he didn't stand. And I'm really happy that he came in yellow, you know. As an aside, I'm really happy that he came in yellow. He has on yellow socks and he has on a yellow tie. Yeah, no. But you know why I'm happy that he came in yellow today? Because as the leader of PAM, when I put on an orange shirt, some of you want to cuss me. You got an orange shirt, you turn PLP? As if something is wrong with wearing the color orange, which represents PLP. The Prime Minister, who is the leader of PLP, can come to a PAM convention wearing yellow, so why we can't be comfortable to wear orange to also show support to the PLP. Therefore, these 5 principles have helped to guide the work of PAM in government and as a party. We have demonstrated that we can bring people together to work in the interest of all, not just a few. This is a pledge we shall continue to make in years to come. As I close my remarks, I do so asking the members of our party to become more active and involved in the affairs of the various branches of our organization. We need you now, so that the travels of tomorrow are made easier, knowing that party politics would best thrive when the rank and file are suddenly behind the leadership. We have too much as a country and as a party to lose if we do not take urgent action to protect the gains made so far in the past 3 years. Equally, the reshaping of our party can only be adequately accomplished if the members are engaged and involved in strengthening every pillar of the organization. PAM today is as great as it was yesterday. And tomorrow, PAM will even be more solid in its fabric, provided we all embrace the theme of today's convention, Together We Succeed. Let us remember that coming together is the beginning. Keeping together is progress. And working together is what? Working together is what? I can't hear you. Working together is what? Working together is? Working together is? Working together is? And we shall continue to work together. Good evening and thank you.